2024, guess what? In Louisiana, the state Supreme Court there is allowing a largely white community to break apart and separate from the city of Baton Rouge to create their own city. This has been a 6-year effort by folks there. On Friday, the Supreme Court granted the formation of the predominantly white city of St. George, which will be separate from Baton Rouge. The ruling is sparking concerns about segregation. Activist Gary Chambers posted a video talking about this here. He joins us now from Baton Rouge. Gary, glad to have you here. You made clear, Gary, that this was a very organized effort by a handful of people with a lot of money to achieve the creation of their own city. Walk folks through how this happened.
So, Roland, we have a man named Norman Browning who organizes a group of about 10 people that decide they want a new school district because they don't want their kids to go to the schools of Baton Rouge. Keep in mind, Baton Rouge is the city that had the longest desegregation lawsuit in America. We didn't finish that lawsuit until the 90s. And so when you look at the conversation around people wanting a new school district, these are people who ultimately don't want their kids to go to school with black kids. Currently, the school district in Baton Rouge is 80% black, even though the city is 56% black. So white parents in Baton Rouge right now, for the most part, do not send their kids to public schools in Baton Rouge. As a result of not getting that school district, these folks then decided to try to start a city. They failed the first time because the city was, I think at that time, going to be 60% white. They went back, cut out black neighborhoods, cut out black apartment complexes, made the municipality smaller, put it back on the ballot, and got it passed by a vote of 17,000 people. The vote of 17,000 now impacts 400,000 people who live in East Baton Rouge Parish because of the general fund that's $1 billion of city parish money, 300 million of that is not dedicated. And they're going to take away $48 million of resources from the general fund in order to create this new municipality. So I don't really care if they go off and segregate themselves, but I do care that we've paid into the fortunes of that portion of town for the last 50 years. And to say that you're going to start a new community and then we owe you money for that community, well, we've been paying a whole lot for a long time, and we want our portion to be paid for if you're going to get it.
So what's interesting here, you also mentioned that you have a black mayor in Baton Rouge, and it's not like, Baton Rouge ain't Atlanta. It's not like there have been black mayors for the last 30 plus years.
No, she is the second black mayor of Baton Rouge. Kip Holden was the first black mayor of Baton Rouge. He was elected in 2004, took office in 2005. So when you put that into perspective, black folks have only been in leadership in this city for under 20 years, okay? So to tell us that the woes or the condition of this city are all the fault of the black leadership, and let's be clear, Roland, the council is majority white, majority conservative in Baton Rouge. It's a 12-member council, 7 white conservatives serve on the Metro Council here in Baton Rouge, and they approve or disapprove of all of the plans of the mayor. And so when we talk about the progress of a community, we have to talk about the inequities and the tale of two cities that have existed for long before Sharon Weston Broome was the mayor of Baton Rouge. We have to talk about how we've invested in South Baton Rouge, the portion of town that is segregating themselves away, and to the demise of North Baton Rouge, actually. And so if we don't have honest conversations about how we got here, then we can't have an honest conversation about how we move forward. And the truth is, when people talk about this unity and why do we talk about race, this is why we talk about race, because people are literally segregating their children, segregating the city, and then taking away resources from our community. And to be clear, 50 years ago, when black people were becoming the majority or growing in population in Baton Rouge, they changed us to a consolidated form of government, which was we won't just have a city, we'll have a city and a county. So Mayor Broome is the mayor of the city of Baton Rouge and the parish president of the parish of East Baton Rouge. And so we have a council that is convened that represents the entirety of the parish, but white communities continue to segregate themselves off when they realize that black leadership is going to be in charge for the future of this community.
I saw there was a state representative who's looking to have this Supreme Court decision reheard or try to have them do it again?
President of the City Council, Lamont Cole, Mayor Pro Tem Lamont Cole, is challenging to have them rehear it. There are certain aspects that the justices did not consider. One of the things the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, who is a conservative, wrote a dissenting opinion and said that this was a decision masquerading as a ruse of a decision, and said that that was a deficient argument put forth because they couldn't even prove that they were going to pay for the services of the city. They have proposed that it's going to cost them $47 million to run a city of 80,000 people, and they're going to privatize every aspect of the services of the city. They don't even have a plan for policing, Roland. They plan to just take the sheriff's department and just give them $4 million and hope that that covers the bill.
Wow. Questions from our panel. Greg Carr.
Thank you, Roland. It's always good to see you, Brother Chambers. The way I understand it, and I know you know this history better than all of us, these white boys have done this earlier, I guess, with Central, is it, outside of Baton Rouge? And I'm from Nashville, so I remember how they went municipal: Nashville, Davidson County, Atlanta, Fulton County, Jefferson County, Birmingham. My question is about how, what's the impact of us not getting involved in the political process? I know you've been doing that. You know, we all came to know you probably outside of Louisiana when you jumped on Connie there at the school board meeting. You know, what is it going to take for our people to understand? I remember the comedian Paul Mooney once said, you know, they want to move away from us now, but during slavery and Jim Crow, they wanted us all up under them in their beds, in their bedrooms, in the kitchens. But now that that's over, they want to get away. What is it going to take to trigger some kind of resurgence in our consciousness to get involved in what has been a long-term strategy for these kind of races, which is to get away from us as far as possible?
You know, I think that some of us had hoped that some people were better than they were, and the realities of today are making people have a wake-up call. I hope, that is my hope, that being able to see things that you and I and Roland and others have been talking about for years play out in real time, I think is a clarion call that many people are going to say, I didn't think they would go this far. They will go this far and further. They want to take as many rights from you as possible. Just today, there was a conversation about a bill in the state legislature in Louisiana that will make it a crime to have an abortion pill. That if you have an abortion pill, they're going to make it a controlled substance in the state of Louisiana. That if you have a person is found with pills that induce an abortion, that you would be considered to have a controlled substance in the state of Louisiana. These people will go to the pits of hell to strip your rights away from you in every aspect, whether you are a man, if you're a black man, black woman, or if you're a woman in general, they will go to the pits of hell to strip your rights away from you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Reese.
Mr. Chambers, it's always good to see you out here on the front lines. My question, to your point about the composition of the leadership in Baton Rouge, can you explain how this new segregated city, does this just siphon off resources from a black city while still keeping white overseers in place in Baton Rouge, or will this actually empower more black residents to take back more power in the city and possibly change the composition of the way the leadership is structured right now?
So because we have a consolidated form of government and a gerrymandered map, we currently don't have the potential for black leadership to be able to run the entirety of the community. The gerrymandered map is the problem right now. There's conversations to challenge that even in the courts to make sure that the city council gets a fair map in Louisiana, because every map that's been drawn in the state has been ruled unconstitutional, in my opinion. If you rule the congressional maps and the legislative maps to be unconstitutional, then you got to know that the city council maps in the blackest cities are unconstitutional as well. And so when you look at that, that's the challenge for us, that we have built these communities for the last 50 years with the tax dollars of black folks that in the northern portion of the parish, seeing divestment in our communities. And now these people want to take their toys and go home. There's a new exit off the interstate that Mayor Sharon Weston Broome approved for the people that live in this portion of town. But you say that she hadn't done anything for your side of town. Folks in North Baton Rouge would challenge and say that we want more done in North Baton Rouge. And so we have seen the rise of that side of town by the expenses of all of us. And so what we are saying now is you can't then get resources from us and bleed us dry and then go and prosper with all that we built. And so we've got to have a position of protecting what is for the citizens of Baton Rouge. If they want to start their own city, start it from scratch. Y'all so damn bad.
Well,
I know that's right.
So look, the shenanigans continue. Monday, Baton Rouge Mayor Sharon Weston will be joining us on the show. Gary, keep up the battle, keep fighting, and we'll keep elevating it and keeping an eye on it, because I keep telling folk, if you don't have Black-owned media, it's a lot of stuff that will get done, and nobody will ever know about it until it's too late.
Thank you so much, Roland. We really appreciate you.
All right. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Fanbase is pioneering a new era of social media for the creator economy. This next generation social media app with over 600,000 users is raising $17 million, and now is your chance to invest. For details on how to invest, visit startengine.com/fanbase or scan the QR code. Another way we're giving you the freedom to be you without limits.